Hello and welcome back to Modalities Movement Therapy. Today we are looking at our dynamic center, the pelvic floor. It is important to have mobility in the pelvic floor. So avoid treating your pelvic floor like a set of muscles that needs constant tightening. Your pelvic floor should function like a trampoline because it needs to be able to move up and it needs to move down to support your organs and react to pressure. A responsive pelvic floor is a healthy one that will better handle changes in intra-abdominal pressure. This is one of the reasons why breathing should follow movement. As you inhale and intra-abdominal pressure increases, your diaphragm moves down and your pelvic floor should move down with it. As you exhale, it moves back up and your pelvic floor should move back up with it. This reciprocal movement is essential for proper function and is key to keeping your dynamic center in balance and supporting you with ease, and why movement is also key. And if we don't use it, well, we lose it. For this routine, you're going to need a high density foam roller and a soft reflex ball. We're going to start in a seated position on the roller. We're going to center ourselves in the middle of the roller on both buttocks. You can take your hands behind and let's just massage that roller up and down over the glutes. You can move slightly into an arch and a tuck position and just loosen up, getting a little bit of movement into that spine, up and across the chest. Really open up and exhale into your rounded position and then breathe in as you open up. Breathing out here and breathing in as you open up. Just do another 2 and open up. Here we're opening up, creating space. You want to breathe into that space. Let's rock around onto one buttock. And if you have very tight hips, let's roll in this position. If you can, you're going to cross that ankle over the knee. Taking a little bit further, you can thread the fingers between the toes, really opening up the toes and lift that foot up off the knee. Nice big range of movement here. You can drop onto the elbow if you want to and get right into that lower back. Let me get rid of this jacket. Right into the lower back there. Do another 2. And finish off with 1. Up and over to the other side. Cross that ankle over the knee if you can. Otherwise, you keep your feet side by side, but you want to stay on the one side and roll right into the lower back. Keep going. Let's do another 4, 3, 2, and finish off. Release the toes and come into a seated position. Let's just focus on the breathing for a minute. Try and rest your elbows on that foam roller. Bring the roller as low down as you can. Think about the lungs as we breathe in. The lungs are going to expand. That intra-abdominal pressure is going to create pressure there, and it's going to push the diaphragm down. So we should feel the expansion around the waist. So as you breathe in, so it's a horizontal movement, slow, steady breath for 4 counts. And then exhale. Try exhale for 4 to 6 counts. So nice, slow breath. Imagine you have a feather under your nose. You don't want that feather to blow away. So slow, steady breathing, not a quick, deep, sudden inhalation. And then exhale. Now you may have quite a bit of tension around the neck area. So let's get into this release. Rest your head in your hands and let's focus on the shoulders. So lift the lower back, the tailbone off the mat, and opening up or making sure the weight of the head is resting in the hands. Let's pay those shoulder blades some attention. If you can, you're going to rock onto one side. So you're going to add a little bit more weight into the one side. If there is a lot of tension around this area, then you can stay on both shoulder blades. But if you can, move right up into the neck, onto that, the top of that shoulder. Get as much release here as you can. Rock around onto this side. When you're ready, you're going to move over to the other side. Put as much weight as you can into the foam roller and get deeper into the release. Make a hammock for your head, so you've got your elbows together and you're really giving that head some support not to take any strain in the neck. Do another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's lower onto the mat. Bring the neck onto the foam roller. Hold onto either side of the foam roller and just shear your head from side to side. So you're going to slide the neck from side to side. Nodding as well. Let's loosen up around these cross fibers of the fascia. Shear, nod the head. We're working along the base of the skull, along that bony process in line with the earlobes. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's rock back up and go back into this release, the diaphragmatic breathing. So resting the elbows on the roller. See how things have changed around the shoulders, into the neck. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit looser. Let's get into the breathing again. So breathing in for 4 counts. And then exhaling. Remember the feather and try and focus on a longer exhalation. So as we breathe in, we're coming into that eccentric contraction. So the muscles between the rib cage are expanding and we're opening up. So it's a horizontal breath around the waist. Hopefully you're not feeling too much tension around the shoulders anymore. Now you're exhaling. Do one more. Breathing in and exhale. Let's continue. We're going to rock around onto our front and we're going to release the diaphragm a little bit more around this area, as well as the legs and the inner thighs. And then we're going to repeat that breathing technique to see if we can focus more on the diaphragm. So I'm bringing my knee in line with my hip And I'm going to come onto both elbows and roll along the inner thigh. If you want to bring your foot onto the mat next to the roller, then you can do that. Otherwise, you can keep that foot on the foam roller. Roll this out. You keep focusing on the breathing, a nice slow, steady breath. We're working along the deep core line, which is connected along the same fascial line as your diaphragm. So rolling along the inner thighs may be a little bit sensitive. Focus on the breathing to help ease you into the movement. Do another 4 and 3, 2 to go. And you're going to finish off with that foam roller right next to the groin. And let's use that extended foot to maneuver forward and back. Forward and back. Do another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's move up and over to the other side. Coming back into that gecko position, so the knee is in line with the hip. If your hips are very tight, then you may have to bring the knee slightly lower down on both elbows, and let's roll that roller slowly up and down. Focusing on the breathing. Another 4 and 3, 2, and you're going to finish off with that foam roller right next to the hip and maneuver yourself up and down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back onto the hands and knees and reposition the foam roller. So we're going to roll along the front of the legs. Elbows in front and nice slow steady release. Go over the knees if you can, breathing in and exhaling. If there's any pain around the knee area, then just work to the knees. Otherwise, you're going to go over the knees. Try to keep the feet down, the belly button lifted. You don't want to be in this position. We've got 2 to go. And 1 more. Okay, curling those toes under. You're going to take one ankle and cross it over the other. I'm now below my hip bone on the hip flexor and maneuvering forward and back with the ball of that foot. And you can rock a little bit from side to side. So let's loosen up that hip flexor. Forward and back, side to side. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's rock over to the other side. Curling the toes under, crossing the ankle over the other one, and rock side to side, up and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back onto the hands and knees, We're now going to position the foam roller over the belly button. So lying on the mat. If you're not comfortable in this position, work without the foam roller. But if you can, stay on the elbows. If you can take it a little bit further, you're going to drop down onto the chest. And here we're going to breathe in and feel the release around the spine, the lower back area around the spine. Exhale. So like we did before, we're breathing in for 4 counts. And we're exhaling. Let's do another 2, breathing in. And exhaling. For the last one, breathing in and exhaling. Back onto the elbows. Lift your t-shirt if you can, work directly onto the skin, and we're going to slide the belly button from side to side. So we're sharing again for 4, 3, and you'll need to hold onto the foam roller so you can keep it from moving out. And finish off. Back into this position, elbows on the foam roller. Hopefully you're feeling nice and relaxed around this area, and we can really focus on a slower, steadier diaphragmatic breath. So breathe in for 4 counts and exhale. Again, 3 more, breathing in and exhale. 2 to go, breathing in and 1 more, breathing in and exhale. You can release the foam roller, and we're now going to lie in a supine position and have a big stretch and yawn. Take your feet on either side of your mat, and you can keep the arms extended above the head. We're going to rock the knees to one side. So this is our knee box position. Just rock from side to side. So just loosening up in the hips and feeling this movement. What range of movement do you have in the hips? Keep the knees to one side. Okay, I'm going to start with my knees to the right side and my left arm is extended next to my ear. I'm taking my right hand onto the rib cage, and as I breathe in, feeling the rib cage expanding as those intercostal muscles between the ribs get wider, and you're going to bounce that knee. As you exhale for 6 counts, you're going to feel the rib cage dropping as those intercostal muscles between the ribs shorten, and you can bounce the knee up if you want to. Breathe in and bounce the knee down towards the mat. So we're opening up, feeling that lengthening along the lateral side. Exhale. Keep going, breathing in. You're bouncing the knee down. As you exhale, you can bounce the knee up. Let's do another 2. Breathing in. Knee goes down. Exhale. Up we go. Breathing in. And exhale. Here's your last one. And exhale. Okay, we're now going to move over to the other side, but we're going to move with breath. So as we breathe in, we're opening up over the rib cage, bouncing the knee down as we've done. Now we're going to exhale. As we exhale and the knee lifts up, the rib cage drops down, you're opening up the knee, and at the last minute, only when necessary, you're going to lift the other knee and you're going to rock around to the other side. I'm now going to take my arm and bring it next to my ear and take my left hand onto the right rib cage. As I breathe in, feeling that expansion, and the knee bounces down. As you exhale, you can push that rib cage down, drop into the mat, and bounce the knee in the lifted position. Feel that concentric contraction. And you're breathing in. 4 counts in. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do 2 more sets. Breathe in. Bouncing. And exhale. Getting that movement. Breathe in. And exhale. Let's do 1 more. Breathing in. And exhale. Here we go. Breathing in. Now we're going to take it over, rocking the knees over as you drop into that tuck position. Lengthen the arm again, and this time we're going to bring the front foot onto the back knee. Bring the hand onto the opposite rib cage. Now you're using that extra little bit of weight to add a little bit more of a lengthened position. So hold it here and breathe in. As you exhale, resist with the foot, you're dropping down. So lengthening more, feeling more stretch into the hip area. Breathing in. And exhale. Resist with the foot. Do another 2. Breathing in. And exhale. Last one. Breathing in. And exhale. On your next inhalation, release the foot. Bounce the knee down, and as you exhale, rock around to the other side. Extend the arm. Take the front foot onto the back knee. Let's breathe in for 4 more sets. As you exhale, drop down. And you're breathing in. And exhale. Two to go. Breathing in. And exhale. For the last one, breathing in and exhale. Release the front foot, breathe in, bounce that knee, and as you exhale, drop. And just rock the knees from side to side. Have a nice big stretch and yawn. Let's link the hands behind the head. Bring the soles of the feet together. Pinch the mat between the shoulder blades and rock your knees a little bit from side to side. Hug the knees into the chest. Just bounce the knees to the chest, and when you're ready, rock up to a seated position. From this position, we're going to bring the feet in front and back into our knee box position. You shouldn't feel a lot of tightness around here because we have released on the roller. But if you are feeling tight, then just take that reflex ball and you can massage around this area. Put the ball to the side, and we're going to come onto the elbows. We're going to work into an internal rotation. So you're going to lift the foot, internally rotating in the hips. 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Come back up onto your hands. In this position, we're going to push into the mat. So you're on the hands, you're breathing in. On your exhalation, you're going to push into a rounded position. I want you to feel these oblique muscles around the waist engaging, and we're going to lift the foot, the knee up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back onto the elbows, we're now going to work into an external rotation. So you're going to lead with the knee and rest on the foot. Lift for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Back up onto the hands, same movement. Breathing in, and as you exhale, push into the heels of the hands, and we're going to continue exhaling for 8 counts. 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, keep exhaling, and 1. Hold the exhalation if you can't get rid of any more breath. 2 more sets. We're going to bring the foot up and we're going to come into that internal rotation. And 8, 7, keep breathing. 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back up onto the hands. Slow, steady inhalation. As you exhale, round the spine and pulse for 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep exhaling. 6, 7, and 8. Dropping down onto the elbows, coming into that external rotation so you can breathe in and out through the nose. 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Up onto the hands. Let's breathe in and exhale. And pulse for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Slowly breathe in. And we're going to repeat this over to the other side. Loosen up, massage around the area if you need to, if there's any tension. And you can pop the ball to the side. Drop down onto the elbows. We're going to start going into that external rotation. So breathing in. Doesn't really matter which one you start with. Let's go for external. 8 and 7, 6 and 5. 4 more. 3, 2 and 1. Coming up onto the hands, slow, steady inhalation. As you exhale, round, push into the hands and pulse for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Dropping back onto the elbows and breathing. Let's go into that internal rotation for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back onto the hands. Slow, steady inhalation and exhale. 1 and 2. Feel the working here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Drop down and breathing in. Externally rotating. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more set of each. Onto the hands, breathing in and exhale. And bounce. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Dropping down, breathing in and exhaling. Coming into that external rotation for 8 and 7, 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lengthening the legs out and give them a good shake. Okay. We are now going to use that reflex ball, and we're going to need a wall. In this movement, we're not gripping the butt, but we're moving the pelvis up and down. So you want that trampoline-like effect. You're going to lie with your feet up against the wall. Put the ball to one side for now, so I'm not too close to the wall, but I'm driving the movement with my feet. So as I breathe in, I'm going to push into the feet and I'm going to let the pelvis float up off the mat. As I exhale, I'm going to lower down. Let's do that again. Breathing in, pushing into the feet. The toes should be relaxed, but the heels you're pulling down into the movement and lifting up. As you exhale, lower down. It's a slow movement following the breath. You should almost be shaking. Breathing in, pushing into the heels, and exhaling. Breathing in 4 more. And exhaling. 3 to go. Breathing in. And exhaling. 2 more. Breathing in. And exhaling. For the last one, breathing in. And exhaling. You've now got that reflex ball. You're going to bring the feet together and the knees are going to squeeze the reflex ball. So we're going to activate the deep core line. Same movement, same principle. Breathing in as you lift, exhaling as you lower. So we're going to squeeze that reflex ball, drive the movement with the heels. Breathe in and then exhale. And a slow movement following your breath. Challenge your balance, your stabilizers. Breathe in. Those are the muscles around the hips. Exhale. Breathing in. Squeeze the reflex ball, push into the wall, drive down with the heels as the hips lift up. Exhale. Breathing in. And as we did before, we're focusing longer on that exhalation. Breathing in. 3 to go. Are you squeezing the reflex ball? You shouldn't be able to take it out from between the knees. Exhale. Two more. Breathing in and exhale. For the last one, breathing in and exhale. Hug the knees into the chest, just bounce them in. Keep the ball where it is, and let's reposition the feet up against the wall. In this next movement, we're going to continue the same movement, thrusting the pelvis up, lifting up off the mat, and we're going to extend the right leg. So we're going to hold that in the lifted position, and you can take your hands onto your hips, and you're now going to drop the hip down. So I'm extending my right leg, dropping the hip down so the ball's rolling down towards the pelvis and then extending up. So you're dropping and you're extending. As you drop, let's breathe out. As you inhale, drive the leg up. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Slow the movement down. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Let's carry on with another 4. Exhaling and inhaling. 3. 2 to go. And the last one. And inhale. And stay there. Release the foot. Extend the left foot. Let's hold it in that position. Breathe in. And as you exhale, drop the left hip. Inhale. And exhale. If you're taking strain, then just hold it and focus on the breathing. Even drive the foot back into the wall and focus on the lifting and the lowering as we have been doing. But if you can, challenge yourself a little bit, dropping and lifting. Breathing in and out. Keep going, breathing in for 4 and exhaling. 3 to go. Last 2. And 1 more. And exhaling. Stay lifted, drop the foot and lower down, hug the knees into the chest, and you can release that reflex ball. Staying in this position, Just stretching a little bit into the hips. Let's cross one ankle over the knee and bounce that knee out. So use your hand if you need to, bounce the knee and getting that stretch into the hips. If you're not feeling much, then just shift your tailbone towards the mat and open up a little bit more in this hip. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's release that foot onto the wall and cross the other ankle over the knee. And the same thing here, just bounce into that stretch. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a quick breather and have some water. We're going to continue using the wall. This time you're going to rock onto one side, lying on your arm, so you can rest your ear on your arm, your feet up against the wall, and you're going to work into the top leg. We're going to focus on this area. Relax your upper body so you're not taking any strain in the neck. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe in, I want you to drive your top foot into the wall, and you're going to start bouncing as you exhale. Keep exhaling 6 counts, release and breathe in. Push into the wall, exhale and bounce. Stop bouncing, breathe in. Keep pushing into the wall and exhale and bounce. Lengthening into the top side of the waist, breathing in and bounce. Keep going, 4 more, breathing in. Push into the wall and bounce. Your toes should be relaxed, but your heels should be driving the movement. Release and breathe in, 3 more. Exhale. Two to go, breathing in and exhale. For the last one, breathing in and exhale. And feel that activation there. Maybe just loosen it up a little bit. And let's cross that ankle over the knee and just bounce into this release. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rock yourself up and over to the other side. Resting on your arm, feet into the wall, and let's breathe in. Driving that heel into the wall, the toes should be nice and relaxed. Start your exhalation and bounce. 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 5 and 6. A nice slow controlled movement. Breathing in. Driving into the wall and exhale. Keep exhaling and breathe in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. 4 more sets, breathing in and exhale. Three to go, breathing in and exhale. Last two, breathing in and exhale. One more and exhale. Release that foot, cross the ankle, or actually before we do that, just feel what's going on in the glutes. That should have worked nice and hard. And cross the ankle over the knee. Let's bounce that knee into that open position. 3, 2, and 1. Rocking around onto your hands and knees. Let's still focus on giving those glutes a little bit of attention. Cross that one foot over the knee and open up that knee as much as you can. Hand on the knee, hand on the foot, and let's just open up and bounce into this open position. You're open, you're creating space. Let's breathe into that space. As you exhale, tuck and round. Let's do another one. Breathing in and bounce. Exhaling to tuck. Let's repeat this release to the other side. So just cross the ankle over the knee and breathing in. Opening up. As you exhale, breathe in again. Add that little bounce. And exhale. If that does create too much tension around the knees, then you can just come into the seated position, cross the ankle over the knee like we did at the wall. Perhaps bring your tailbone a little bit closer to the foot and bounce into this position. And repeat the same thing to the other side. You can actually move forward and back in this release. Add a little bit of a bounce with that knee. Let's release and lengthen everything out. Have a nice big yawn and stretch. Let's go back into this position, linking the fingers, soles of the feet together. Pinch the shoulder blades around the mat, or pinch the mat between the shoulder blades and rock the knees a little bit. Bounce the knees in that open position. And hug your knees into your chest. And rock yourself up to a seated position. Well done. Thank you for joining me.